Hey guys, welcome back. For today's video, I have an updated drugstore highlight and contour video using all affordable makeup brushes. So my last video that I did like this was like a year and a half ago. I didn't use any affordable makeup brushes like some of them were, but I wanted to do a full drugstore affordable video for today. I decided to update you guys because a lot of the products in here are like my holy grails and you guys have seen them a million times, and some of them are new, but I actually really like them. Like my first impression is like really good on them so far, but I'll keep you guys posted. So I'll leave everything as well as the brushes that I use listed down below, so don't forget to check that out. And if you want to see how to get this completed face, then just keep watching. Okay, so first things first, you always want to make sure that you're starting off with a clean canvas. So I do have a skincare routine if you guys want to check it out, where I show you all the products that I use in the morning and at night, but that is super important to start off with a fresh face. So after that, you want to go in with a primer. Now, if you have oily skin, then go in with a mattifying primer, something for pores. If you have dry skin, maybe you want to go in with something really hydrating, illuminating. It really just depends on your skin type. Sometimes I use primer, sometimes I don't. It just depends on how my skin feels, how it looks throughout the day. So today I'm actually trying out something new. This is the Hard Candy Primer Longwear 12-Hour Power Primer. I really love Hard Candy primers, and I just wanted to try this one out because who doesn't want their makeup to last all day? So I'm taking a little bit and just rubbing it between my fingers and then just applying it all over. So far, this is very hydrating, this primer. Feels very nice, soft, has like a creamy consistency. Starts out very like, it feels almost like it has like a little bit of an oil in it, but when it actually absorbs into the skin, it absorbs really nicely, so that's good. Just a quick tip for avoiding cakey makeup: let your primer sit in your skin for a little bit, at least a minute, maybe even a less time. When you go in and you apply your foundation or something, your primer is still absorbing into your skin. That can cause things to settle into fine lines and to just appear cakey throughout the day. So just a quick tip. Today for foundation, I'm going in with the L'Oreal Pro Matte. This one's in the shade 106 Sun Beige. This is one of my favorite foundations. If you have oily skin, I highly recommend this. It's beautiful, it's full coverage, and it lasts all day. Then if you have dry skin, I would go with the L'Oreal Pro Glow, another one of my favorites. My skin tends to be a combo of oily and dry, so that's why I like both of these. Just depends on how my skin's doing that day, but today I'm going with the matte version. When you're highlighting and contouring, you're obviously applying a lot of layers of product on your face, so you want to start off with a little bit of foundation. Don't use too much because you can always add a little bit more if you need to, or you can add some concealer if any acne or scarring is peeking through. But if you apply too much and then you're applying multiple layers of concealer and your contour and all that, that's when your makeup can get really cakey and it just looks like old on your skin. So I'm taking about this much and I'm using an e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush to apply this. You can get this brush like at Target, wherever they sell e.l.f., even online. So I'm just gonna dot this all over. And I'm gonna start by buffing it into my skin. When you buff the foundation in with a brush like this, that's when you get that full coverage look. And a little bit of this foundation goes a long way, so. This brush is amazing, by the way. You guys know I love my beauty blender, but this is one of my favorite foundation brushes because it just applies everything so nicely into the skin. So you never want to rub your foundation in like this because then you're kind of defeating the purpose of the coverage. You want to just pat it in, and then if you have to blend anything out, you can. But for the most part, just make sure you're actually patting the foundation into your skin. So before applying my concealer underneath my eyes, I always like to go in with an under eye corrector. This one is by Pixie. You can find it at Target. This one's in the shade Brightening Peach. I know that a ton of different brands have things like this, but I really love this one the best because I feel like it really counteracts any darkness that I have underneath my eyes. Then when I go in with my concealer, I don't have anything peeking through, and it just makes everything look really highlighted and bright. So I'm going to be using this on a flat Wet n Wild brush. You can get these Wet n Wild brushes at Walgreens. I've seen them and they're really like so cheap. They're like under $5. So I'm gonna take this and just apply it right where I have like my darkness, basically. And when you first apply this, it is pretty thick, like it feels thick, but it blends out so nicely. To blend that out, I'm taking a small stippling brush by e.l.f. I love these little small stippling brushes by e.l.f. because they're like just perfect for anything. You can use it for highlighting, for blending out. your contour, underneath your eyes, for powder underneath your eyes. Like, they're just very versatile and they're so inexpensive. For my concealer, I'm going in with one of my all-time favorites, Maybelline Fit Me. This one's in the shade Sand 20. I love this concealer because I feel like you can apply so many layers and it just doesn't get cakey. It's really creamy, easy to work with, and really blendable. So I'm going to take this and highlight underneath my eyes. Now, a lot of people don't like to do this. You know, it really just depends on your personal preference. I like the high points of my face, like my nose, my under eye, to be really bright and awake. I'm also going to do it down my nose, in between my brows, above my lip, around my nose area. Tends to get a little bit red for me. I'll also do it on my chin and around my mouth. Normally I'd blend this out because I don't like cream highlight and contour every single day, but obviously for today's video, I'm going to be taking the Revlon Photo Ready Insta Fix. It's just basically a foundation stick. This one's in the shade 190 Caramel. I've actually never tried this before. I tested it out a little bit and it was really creamy when I used it earlier, but I haven't actually like had it on all day. So I know a ton of different brands have things like this, or they have concealer sticks. You can honestly use anything to cream contour, even regular concealer, but I like stick formulas because I feel like they're easy to work with and you have a lot of control. So what you want to do when you're cream contouring is you obviously don't want to just draw lines all over your face, even though that's kind of what it looks like. You want to follow along where your cheekbones are and where you actually want to contour. So what you can do, don't necessarily do that too much, but a little bit, because you don't want to have your contour all the way down here, you know what I mean? You want it to start like where your ear is, like where your hairline, a little bit right here, and you want it to stop kind of like right in the center of your cheeks, not all the way down near your mouth. I like to start it right at my hairline because I feel like it kind of gives it a more natural look. The point where you're going like this, you don't want to go past that because it's not going to look right. Then I always like to bring it up around this area, my temple. My forehead is not huge. If you have a bigger forehead, you want to do more contouring than highlighting. If you have a smaller forehead, you can use more highlight than contour, you know what I mean? But I like to do it a little bit just to kind of balance everything out. You can see this contour stick is very light and natural, so it's perfect, like just to give yourself a natural contoured look, because I never do anything dramatic. That's just not my style. You want to just get a kind of feel for where your cheekbones are. That's where you want to do the line. Also want to do like your jawline. Now, to be honest, I never contour my nose. I'm going to do it for the sake of this video, but what I like to do if I ever am contouring my nose is taking an angled like eyebrow brush. This one is from Royal and LangNickel. It's just a brow brush. You can find this brand at Walmart. It's very affordable, and I'll just take my brush and I'll just dip it into the stick, and then I'll just go in and sculpt out my nose a little bit. I never really do this because to be honest, I don't really think necessary for my nose. Like, I'm not self-conscious about my nose or anything, but I'll do it like once in a blue moon. And if you're using a contour stick or concealer that's a little bit too light and you feel like the contour isn't showing up that much, it's all good, because once you blend it out and you go over top with the powder, you can always darken it up with a darker bronzer like powder shade. So to blend this out, I'm going to be taking the same e.l.f. small stippling brush. I'm just going to blend that concealer out. I'm kind of patting it in and then doing really tiny circular motions. Now, I know a lot of people don't understand the whole purpose of like highlighting all over the face and applying so much concealer, but if you're just highlighting underneath your eyes and you're not doing the rest of your face, it doesn't really look balanced, and then underneath your eyes just looks really bright and everything else just looks kind of darker, and it doesn't look right. So that's why it's good to always just kind of balance everything out. For my nose contour, I kind of just blend it in with my finger. I feel like it's easier that way. To blend out my contour, I'm taking the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. I actually really love that contour stick from Revlon. It's really creamy, blends into the skin so nicely. I like it. Make sure you get that jawline. Sometimes this tends to happen when you blend out the contour, it looks less of a contour and more of a bronzy look sometimes. So what you can do with that is just go in with the concealer that you used earlier. I'm using the Maybelline one. Do that same like face and then kind of just take some more concealer and carve that out. I'm going to use this small stippling brush and blend that in. I usually always have had issues with my concealer creasing, and I find that when I don't set it immediately, I have less creases underneath my eyes. So right now my concealer has been sitting, and you can see I already have like creasing. If I like pull down, you can see that little bit of creasing in there. So what I like to do is just take the stippling brush and kind of just blend out those creases. And once you do that, you go in, you set it immediately after you wipe away those creases, and then I feel like it kind of diminishes my creasy lines. To go ahead and set everything, I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild Contour Duo. This one's in the shade Caramel Toffee, as you can see. I love this thing, it's amazing. To set the concealer, I'm using this Royal and LangNickel contour brush. Again, you can get this brand at Walmart. Then to set the contoured areas, I'm going to use the same palette and just use the contour shade. I'm using a Wet n Wild angled contour brush to do this. This is extremely pigmented, so make sure you're using a little bit and then tapping off the excess. Just to ensure everything is blended, I'm using this Up and Up brand brush from Target. It's like a large powder brush. I'm going to just blend out that bronzer. Okay, moving into blush, I'm using the e.l.f. blush palette. This one's in the shade Dark, and I'm just going to be using this color right here, which is like that light rose shade. And I'm going to be using a Wet n Wild stippling brush to apply that to my cheeks for some color. Whenever you're applying your blush, you want to make sure that you're not just like focusing it right on the apples of your cheeks. You want to blend it in with your bronzer so that it looks seamless and very blended and natural. For highlighter today, I'm using the Wet n Wild Fergie highlighter in the shade Rose Champagne Glow. These actually have new names right now. I'll leave the new name of this down below because the Fergie collection was like limited edition. You can find these, I'm pretty sure, online on their website or in some Walgreens, maybe even some like Target, Walmart, I don't know. It depends where you live. I'm going to be using this Up and Up brand brush that I got in a set at Target. It's a little bit bigger, but that's why I like it because it makes the highlight look like really blown out. So it doesn't look like a strip of highlighter on your face. You know what I mean? So I'm applying that right to the tops of my cheekbones. Also right above my brow. I like to do like a C shape. Down my nose, above my lip, and on my chin. And I always go back with the same blush brush that I was using earlier, and I just like to blend that highlight in so that the blush, contour, the highlight, everything is blended. Alright, I'm going to be right back. I'm just going to finish up my bottom lashes and then my lips, and then the look is complete. Alright guys, I'm back. The only thing that I have on my eyes is just eyeshadow as my winged liner. I'm wearing the Kiss number 11 lashes, which you can find at Walmart. I'm wearing no eyeshadow. All I did was apply some concealer and then just set that. And then what else? Oh, my lips. I am wearing the NYX lip liner in the shade Sugar Glass with the Too Faced Melted Matte Liquid Lipstick in the shade Cool Girl over top. And then if you're wondering, since we're talking about what I'm wearing, my choker is from boohoo.com as well as my shirt. It's like an off-the-shoulder long sleeve crop top, and then that's pretty much it. The last and final thing that I think is super important when it comes to makeup is setting your face. I have so many different setting sprays. You guys know I love the Pixie one. I'm like running super low on that one, so I'm using another one of my favorites, which is the NYX Matte Finish setting spray. They have a dewy one as well. I love the NYX sprays. I feel like they really work. They're super affordable. This little bottle, you actually get a lot, so it lasts a long time. So I'm just gonna spritz my face and lock my makeup into place. So this is the completed look. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think down below, and also leave me your favorite holy grail makeup products for cream highlighting and contouring so I can add them to my list and try them out when I go makeup shopping. So thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all, and I'll see you in a few days in my next video. Bye!